Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Marketing Wizards Inner Circle. And I am so excited today because I have someone really, really special with me today. You are going to love this woman. In fact, she comes to us all the way from Sydney, Australia. She's making a trek, my friend. She's making this huge trek via Zoom, via YouTube directly to you. She is one of Australia's most recognized and decorated author coaches. She is absolutely brilliant at what she does. She brings well over 30 years of entrepreneurial experience. She has written 10 books herself, and she has helped countless other business owners and entrepreneurs take their story, craft it into an applicable book, and then use that book to accomplish huge things inside their companies. So if you have ever thought, should I write a book? Would it help my company? This is the episode for you, my friends. Sue Kennedy, welcome to the Marketing Wizards Inner Circle. I'm so happy that you're here.
Thank you, Michael. I'm so excited to be here. It's an absolute pleasure.
Yeah. So, Sue, you help people get that book done. Get their books out there. This is incredible because, you and I have talked a little while here now, and we know that having a book with your name under the author is a really huge boon to your marketing. Not all small business owners recognize that. So we're going to dive into that today, right? You and I are going to talk about that today.
Yes, we are. It's very, very, very crucial to have a book that is, if you are a business owner. Definitely.
Yeah. It's amazing the doors that it opens and the opportunities that it creates for you in your business and how you market, and also just like how people stand up and say, "Ooh, I want to work with this person," right? It's a great way of just greasing the wheels on your sales process too. Wouldn't you agree?
Definitely. Look, and I'll share later in the episode of how it changed my life once I did that, and the way people saw me very, very differently in a very positive light, of course. So yes.
I love it. That's absolutely brilliant. Now, but before we dive into all the nitty gritty stuff here, and we dive into some of the tactics about book writing and everything else, Sue, tell us how you got here. Like, because I don't think you probably woke up one day at 21 years old and was like, I'm going to be a book writing coach. That's what I'm going to do. So how did you wind up in this position? How did you start this business? How did you find yourself on this entrepreneurial journey?
So I've always wanted to write, but I, again, like many people, didn't think I was good enough, or who would want to read my story?
Right.
It's a huge problem with a lot of people. But what happened is, sadly, I fell into a deep depression, and my life just fell apart, all came crashing down around me. Considered suicide. It got to that bad stage. Yeah, it was quite bad. And so I got myself out of that because I didn't even know what was going on.
Right.
I was like, well, what is this? I'd never felt it before. And I then found out that it was depression. And so I did a lot of research around it to find out, well, why do you get depression? How do you fix it? Like, I wanted to know about it. So it was more to heal myself. But then I thought, what if I turn that into a book? I can then help others as well. So that's what I did. And back then, like, there weren't people like me that were book coaches and could help. So I had to do it all myself. And it was quite a lengthy process, not very easy, but I did it. And that's what actually healed me. And then I just continued to start writing other books. I then was offered to run a workshop for small business owners. And I thought, how awesome would it be to have some books at the back of the room to sell?
Right, of course. Okay.
And I just went, I can do this. So I birthed 3 books. Because why not?
Three books.
Why do one when you can do?
No. Have triplets. Why not?
Yeah, exactly. So I did that, and that was really good and successful. And of course, people from there kept saying, how do you write all these books? And I went, maybe my next book should be how to write a book. So I did that. And from that book, I actually started running workshops on helping people write. So that sort of pretty much, both the very first book and that book really, I suppose, cemented what I am doing today and got me off and running doing that. And of course, in between, I wrote other books as well. So pretty much, yeah, and I absolutely love doing it. And, I love doing art as well. So I'm an artist and art therapist. So I thought, I want to do both. I'm greedy. I don't want to do just one.
We got one life to live. Let's be greedy. Why not? Right?
Exactly. So I went,
Yeah.
I'm just going to combine the two and create a beautiful, unique 5-step process that is unique to, no one else is doing it the way I'm doing it. And let's help people get their books written and out there.
I love that. I love that. Okay. So just real quick, that painting that's above you right now at the top of that shelving unit, is that yours?
Yes, it is.
Oh, beautiful. Look at that. Amazing.
Thank you.
Gorgeous. Yeah. Okay. So then you said, I was looking at it and you've been in business for over 30 years. Has it been in business doing this work for over 30 years then?
You've frozen.
Oh, am I back?
No, yeah, we were a bit frozen there for a minute. So I've done a few other things in previous lifetimes, but definitely, like, as far as the Author Academy, it's probably about 5-6 years that I've been trading as the Author Academy. So
Fantastic. That's amazing. And so what was it? Did you always feel this calling? You said that you always kind of wanted to be a writer. And so you had this calling. Do you feel like that's a big part of the entrepreneurial journey in general, Sue, that you kind of have this calling, there's this itch that needs to be scratched? Have you found that in working with other entrepreneurs?
yes, definitely. You have to go with what you're passionate about because, well, one, you're fulfilling yourself, the needs of yourself, but you're also fulfilling someone else's needs by putting your expertise out there to be able to help them. So it's definitely, you need to scratch that itch, as you say.
Yeah, I find that when, obviously I work with small business owners, and it's a quest. They have felt, or they are suddenly feeling this calling that they can't turn back from. And it's something that they've either felt internally for a long period of time, or that suddenly this big life event happens and it's this trigger with, like, okay, I've got to go and pursue this. Like, I can't hold this back anymore. This is my instincts. This is my intuition. Everything's pushing me towards this. So,
Exactly. And if you're feeling like that, I really, really invite people to follow that and just see where it leads them, because it could possibly lead you down an amazing path that you never even dreamt of. So don't just push it to the side. There's a reason why you're feeling that way.
absolutely. Be in service. Like, it's one of the things that, we talk about all the time in my own companies, is that you have to be in service of the client, and you've got to be in service. So if you feel this calling that you can transform someone's life, you can do, even in a small way, like even if you want to run a coffee shop, but you want to run a coffee shop that really brings people thrills and joy to be there. And, and it's a great place to go and write your book, for example, then that's the transformation that you offer, right? So it doesn't always have to be like this massive life altering thing. It can be you're improving the lives of your guests every single day. So it can be nice and simple like that.
Well, exactly. I mean, and as you say, just making that coffee for someone, that's probably the best start that you're going to give that person for their day, and they're going to be set for the day and be very successful and happy. And you created that. So how amazing.
Exactly. Right. Exactly. Okay. So, I mean, that gets me to the idea of the ripple effect. Like, when we go into business, there's this ripple effect. We are transforming, we're helping somebody else, we're uplifting them, we're solving this problem for them, this big challenge. And then the ripple effect of the type of person that they become in coming into contact with our business and our products. And to me, writing a book is a real pinnacle of that ripple effect. Would you agree with me there, Sue?
Definitely. Absolutely. 200%.
Yeah. So one of the things that I love about books is that they're busy selling for you. They're busy, indoctrinating people into what your business and your offers are all about while you sleep, while you're taking a rest. So let's walk into now sort of what it is that you do to really help people write a book. Like, what is it that's so unique about your process?
Okay, so I've got a 5-step unique process. Now, the first few processes are pretty standard. It's, what you do to get a book written, although a lot of people don't know where to start. But we are working through all the steps that you have to do to get it started. But then we get to the juicy part, the part that is unique to, I think, me. I don't think anyone else is doing this, is the fact that we then delve into how we can unblock their story. And it doesn't, even if it is a business book, there's still probably things in there. You've got gold nuggets hidden in there that, you need to pull out and so that you can make that book really successful. So I have a couple of different processes that we do that. One is that I go to the canvas, and I know a lot of people, when I say that, they
yeah, of
fall in.
course. Yep.
Oh my goodness, a blank canvas. No, I just know there's no way I could do that. And that's fine. I get that, because I even do that. I come to a blank canvas and go, oh,
It's a lot of pressure.
yeah, where can I start? Because, you want it to be perfect, of course.
Yeah. Your last one above your head is so beautiful. It's got to measure up to that standard, right?
Thank you. But then I have another process which I've brought in because I thought, I know that's going to trigger something in people, or could do. Some people are happy with that, but I have another process where it's just pretty much pen, paper, and some coloring in pencils or markers. And it's a lot more not so confronting. And they're both gentle processes, and we don't go back into any traumas or any horrible things. We just gently bring that story to the forefront in a lovely, gentle way, as I say. And it's amazing the aha moments that you get when you do that process. It's just, every time I do it with someone, I would gobsmacked about how amazing it is. So that probably is the real, important part of the process, I believe. Of course, then we have, they're all important parts because they all bring it and blend it together and end up with the book.
Yep.
And then the part of my program is also included is the proofreading, editing, designing and layout, and printing. So that's all sort of included as well. So yeah, that's pretty much in a nutshell.
I love it, Sue. So you really take somebody on what we would call a comprehensive tip-to-tail process, where they are generating the idea for the book, kind of the nature of what they want the book's intention to be, then flowing through to the narrative, right? The story of what this is, and then into the editing and the design process. I love that. What's so critical about that is that a lot of people can come up with an idea of what they want their book to solve. It's going to be how to do XYZ, because we all have a mess that we've turned into our message. We all have these challenges we've overcome in life and developed a robust skill set about being able to continue to overcome that challenge. We've done these things. But here's the part that I love about what you just referenced. You talk to them about their story, right? You talk to them about drawing out their story and what's going on. And here's the thing that I'm a fundamental believer in, and I think you'd probably agree, that the world doesn't change perspective with facts and figures.
No.
The world changes its perspective through narrative.
Exactly.
It's through story. And there's so many people that are like, why do I have to include my story in this? Like, why do I have to include? Because nobody cares about your XYZ skill set until they know how you carved it into existence, what you went through to get there. They're not even going to find it all that important until you probably illustrate what it took to get from where you were to where you are today, right? That part, that narrative element is a huge reason why books are so powerful. And I love that you spend a lot of time focusing on it, because I've read some really dry, very nuts and bolts, how to basically manuals, especially in the business world.
Yes.
And they needed you, Sue. They needed you because it's so dry. And you're just like, oh my gosh, I need more context. I need more story, right?
Exactly.
That makes these things work.
Well, and a perfect example of that is like when people go to a website for your business, the first place they go to is the about page, because they want to know who's behind the business.
Yeah.
And what they, whether they are going to be happy and comfortable working with you. They want to know all that. So it's the same with the book. They want to know about you and who's behind the story in that book.
Yeah.
It's very
Yeah.
important.
Absolutely. And so if you are watching this and you're a little bit like, oh, why do I have to include my story? Or why do I have to include these things? Why can't I just write a how to do XYZ book? The fundamental reason, because it's going to change more people if you write a good story. You're going to help more people. It's going to be more effective.
Exactly, because if someone, for instance, wants to go into your particular industry, then, they're going to be like, well, I don't even know how to do that. And then when you include that's your story of how you birthed that business, they're going to be like, oh, wow, well, I can do that. If they did it because of this, X, Y, Z, as you say, then, well, I can do that as well. I can't, there's no reason why I can't. So, I think that's, very, very important.
To me, it's the crux of the matter. We can, as I said, we can shout facts and figures all day long, but the real thing that's going to change somebody's perspective is a story.
It is,
right?
Definitely.
Make them see the world in a different way. Okay, so I love this, Sue. It's so powerful. It's so good. Now, walk us through why. If I'm a small business owner, right? Why would me writing a book have any bearing on my business whatsoever? What's it going to do for me? Like, why would I actually want to go through the process of birthing a book? Why would I even want to do that? What do you think the value is?
The value is very, very high. It will change the way people look at you. It will give you credibility. It will take your business to the next level. And as an example, as I mentioned to you, I wrote those 3 books. I was asked to run a workshop and have the books in the back of the room. I was part of a large networking group, and at the time I was the vice president. And I went in that morning with my 3 books, very proud and happy that I'd accomplished that.
Yeah.
And I showed the president and said, oh, look what I've just, done. And she was like, wow, I can't believe that you've actually done this. This is absolutely amazing. And she jumped up, quickly introduced and opened the meeting and went, I'm so excited, I've got to share something. And so she grabbed my books and said, look, Sue's written and published these 3 books. And everyone was like, what? And like the way they treated me was nice, but from that day forward, their perception of me completely turned around. But after the meeting, they all came up, they all wanted to talk to me, they all wanted a copy of my books, and they just looked at me in a different view. They just, it was incredible. I just went, my goodness, if I knew it was going to have this effect, I would have done it years ago.
Right.
So, and from that day onwards, and when you say to someone, I've got a book, I've written a book, they really do look at you in a different light. They just do, because a lot of people, it's something they probably just dream of. It's a distant dream, think that it's not achievable. So they really look up to someone that is able to accomplish it. So, but it's also, it's your business card in a business.
Okay. So what do you mean by that? Walk us through what you mean.
Gone are the days when you have the business card. Like, I mean, how many times have you been given a business card, and unless it's something that you really, really want, you throw it in the bin.
Right.
You may add them to your database, but ultimately the business card goes in the bin. Now, people aren't going to throw a book away as easily. And the book is going to tell your story. Like, people, even if you did it to hand that book to someone, now, whether that's just to a client or, a potential client, they can read that book and go, wow. And this is where that story comes in. They can read the story about that person behind the book and go, oh my goodness, I really want to work with this person. So that book's going to get you more clients.
Simple as that.
Yeah, simple as that. Whether you do it that way or otherwise, it will attract more clients.
You know what, Sue, I think is so powerful what you just said is that we tend to get really locked into our self-image.
Mm.
Right? Like we have a very specific version of ourselves, an image of who we are. Maxwell Maltz talks about this in Psycho-Cybernetics, which is a great book. And he talks about the fact that, we have this really specific image as who we are. But once we create a book for ourselves, once we become an author, as you just talked about, that self-image changes because the way people see you, because our self-image is being reflected back at us from the people that we surround ourselves in, just like a mirror. And once that changed for you, right, that self-image, who you even thought you were, right, what you meant, what you symbolized in this group of people, and probably echoed effect after that, that completely changed you, didn't it?
It definitely did. Like I was like, probably this big, and then after that, I was like, oh my goodness, my confidence, everything just grew. It was absolutely the best feeling. As I say, I would have done it years ago had I known that that was going to be the reaction.
Well, it's amazing because not only is the book a great marketing tool to get, as you just illustrated, like to give somebody and to sort of say, hey, I care about you. I'm going to give you my book and you can read it, and this is my calling card. But the power of shifting your own self-image because you've accomplished this feat and become an author and taken your genius and codified it to a certain degree, and you're willing to share it with other people this way, like that shift in self-image is so powerful, Sue, and it changed the trajectory of your life completely.
Yes, it definitely did. And it was from that moment on that, that the view of others and of me and me of myself completely changed.
Mm-hmm. And I
Very
think as business owners, we tend to have a very specific self-image about who we are and what we're capable of. And not only that, but also what our business is, like a very specific framework or sandbox that our business is. Yet once you write that book, my friend, those things change. Right, Sue? Like you start to realize, oh, I am capable of more. Oh, I am more valuable than I thought I was. Oh, this journey that I've been on has wisdom and experience and value and power to other people that can also be inspired to take big strides forward in their life. And suddenly your self-image, it just starts to evolve and change. I know it did for me after I finished my first book.
Oh, definitely. It's the best feeling knowing that, as you say, the way it's changed you, but knowing that that book's going to help so many people in so many different ways is such a great feeling, knowing that, it was because of you that that's happening.
I love that, Sue. I absolutely love it. So if you're a small business owner, my friend, and you want to create a phenomenal marketing and sales asset, write a book. If you're a small business owner and you want to shift and alter your self-image and grow into the next best version of you so you can accomplish the next best thing that you want to tackle in your life, write a book. And if you want to know who can help you get there and write an incredible version of this book, well, that's Sue Kennedy, and she's in Australia, and she's in Sydney, and she's waiting for your call, my friend.
I'm here, happy to help.
Perfect. So, Sue, with that in mind, tell us, how can people find you? How can they track you down? If they really want to write this book, they've listened to us today, they're like, okay, you know what? I got to scratch this itch now. I really need to figure out how to write this book and get it out of me. How can they find the Author Academy?
So they can go to www.authoracademy.com.au, and there's different ways of contacting me and also scheduling a 30-minute free brainstorming session.
Beautiful. Okay. And then on socials, where can they find you? Where's the best place to find you on socials?
Yeah, I'm on all of them. So Facebook, Insta, I'm on all of them. If you just look up Author Academy, you should find me.
Are you doing the TikTok yet? You doing the TikTok?
Yes, I'm even on TikTok.
Yeah.
On TikTok.
There we go. I just started my TikTok channel yesterday. So there we go. I'm a little late to the party. Sue, this has been fantastic. If you have one or two little words of wisdom that you'd love to share with the audience before we wrap things up, what would that be?
If you have, an urge to take your business to the next level and want to be the authority in your particular business, I highly recommend you write your story and that book.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I love it. Now, Sue, my one last and final question for you is, would you like to come back on the show again in the future?
I would love to.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. Audience, you heard it here. She said yes. So, Sue, this has been a pleasure. I hope the audience got a tremendous, in fact, I know they got a tremendous amount of value today. Sharing your story, sharing your journey, and the value, the power of writing a book that it's going to transform people's lives and really help you grow your business. So, thank you so much for being on here, Sue. It's been an absolute pleasure. And as we wrap things up, my friends, I have been Michael Bridgman. She has been Sue Kennedy from the Author Academy, and you have been awesome. This is once again another episode of the Marketing Wizards Inner Circle. Thank you so much for watching, and ciao for now.